Hi everyone, my name is Lydia and this is what I wish they taught me about econometrics and introduction. In this video, we're going to play a little game called Which Assumption Failed. When OLS assumptions fail, the data will usually leave clues so that you can figure out what went wrong and come up with a solution for it. So while looking at all of the graphs in this video, ask a simple question to yourself, which assumption failed, and try to come up with a rule on how you can tell that is the assumption that failed. To get the most out of this video, I suggest pause the video once you see the graph and try to diagnose the problem before I explain it. Don't think about formulas, don't overthink any of the assumptions, just think about what kind of patterns do you notice. So without further ado, let's look at the first graph. Well done for giving it a try. This graph is showing you the relationship between x and the residual. You can very clearly see a pattern in here. When the x values are small, so meaning at the lower corner here, we've got the observations all bundled in one place. But as x increases in this direction, we can see that they spread out a little bit more, creating what all of you know, the funnel shape in here, and that very easily gets you to answering that the violation of homoscedasticity. Okay. So this means that the variance of the error term conditional on the x is actually not sigma squared, because we can see there's little variance in here, but higher variance for these values of x that are bigger. So what does that mean for our OLS? Well, OLS could still be unbiased. However, the standard errors or t-tests, not reliable. Because obviously here we've got heteroscedasticity, so we can't trust the sigma square. Let's move to the second graph for this video. We still have another graph of the relationship between x and the residual. However, we don't see the funnel shape we saw in the previous exercise, so something else is going on in here. In fact, this is a clear graph of when one of the most important assumptions that we've gone through gets violated, and that is the zero conditional mean. Because, and let's see how the graph gives us the clues. So if you remember, the way we write it is the expectation of epsilon conditional on x. That's not going to be zero. We can clearly see that there is a relationship, a positive relationship between the x and the residuals, because as the x gets bigger, so do the residuals. So what this means is that there is systematic information that is left in the residuals, and we have created bias. So it means it's not just going to be good for our inference. Okay. Now, what are the typical causes that will give us a case where we see this kind of graph? Omitted variable bias, functional form misspecification, and also reverse causality. Because again, remember, there is systematic information left in the residuals. Let's check exercise 3. In exercise 3, we have the relationship of x1 and x2. So for whoever noticed this, you have already the correct answer. This violates the no perfect collinearity condition. Even if the model is unbiased, the coefficients become extremely imprecise. And as a consequence of this kind of relationship between the x's that you include in your model, you will see huge standard errors, unstable estimates, and sensitivity to small data changes. Let's move to the last graph for this video. In here, we are presenting something that we might not have seen a lot in our previous videos, because we're showing the residual over time. This is obviously typical when we work with time series. And if you remember what we've said about how the assumptions change the moment that we change the data sets, you will remember that there was one particular assumption that got automatically violated anytime we were working with time series, and that was random sampling or independence. So in this graph, we can clearly see that there is a pattern of the residual over time. We can see cycles of how the residual behaves over time. And if you remembered, when we worked with time series, we said that the random sampling assumption will be replaced with assumptions such as no serial correlation or stationarity. Treating time series as if they were random samples will lead, obviously, to false confidence. Well done if you got the answers right. Keep in mind, each OLS assumption protects us from a different kind of problem. So zero conditional mean, bias. Homoscedasticity, incorrect standard errors. No collinearity, unstable estimates. Random sampling, fake precision. When assumptions fail, the data will usually tell you, so you only have to keep close attention to them. I hope these exercises helped you get an idea of what are the things that you should be looking at when you're trying to pick up these patterns from the data, and I'll see you in the next video.